fuck is the Cabbage Patch Killer? Of similarities to the Jack the Ripper. Mom ran a brothel. One of Liverpool's most prolific serial killers.
Tragic. This woman's been found, beaten to death. That cup of tea found the killer.
Cabbage Patch Killer killed your nan.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you? And welcome to today's episode of the award-winning podcast, Crying in the DMs. I'm your host, Sara McCarthy, and I'm joined today by Brodie, the granddaughter of one of Liverpool's most prolific serial killer victims, and a now well-known activist, and what's the word? Thespian!
Yeah.
Thespian!
The
thespian is having to teach me words today because, you know, my vocabulary is limited when it's not in my vocation. It's brilliant to have you on today, Brodie.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. Let's get into the nitty-gritty shitty first, okay?
Yes.
Mom ran a brothel.
Yes, she did. One of many.
Really?
Yeah.
It's insanity to me because, I mean, the sex industry is a very profitable industry. And now it is all online. Do you reckon that's why she closed the brothels down?
Yeah, definitely. So when COVID came in 2020, we were kind of looking at, because I did also work in the brothel, we were kind of looking at ways to go hybrid. And then my mum was thinking, well, maybe we can just rent the rooms out to people who were at the time doing things called Viva Street. OnlyFans wasn't really big then, but there was other platforms at the time. And we ended up closing it because people couldn't be by people. And then she just decided to leave it. She's retired now. She's living off the fat of the land.
Amazing. When people say brothel, they immediately assume 1700s, women hanging out of a window,
Little
waving the
saloon
knickers.
doors.
Yeah. Saloon doors, lay on a bed, ready for the man to just come and just ejack and then fuck back.
Yeah.
What's it actually like to work in a brothel?
A bit like this. So this, where we're sitting now, this was literally the setup of the reception where I worked, which was just a living room with 2 couches in it.
Okay.
A telly, YouTube, Netflix, all the regular stuff that you have in a house. It was just a flat with 2 bedrooms in it. And so when I'd I'd go like, oh, I'm on reception for my mum today, loads of the people in the theatre world didn't know what that was.
Okay.
And then they'd call me when I'd be at work and the phone would ring and I'd go 1 second, then I'd be like, hello, can I help? Oh yeah, we've got Sara working today. She's a busty 36 double G, slims down to a tight Pantone dress size 12. What's she wearing?
But you got me written then, girl.
So then they'd be like, Brodie, reception at your mum's job. What is your mum's job? And then I'd be like, oh, sorry, yeah, it's a brothel. I'll ring you back later.
Oh my God. So did you ever have any trouble in the brothel?
Oh my God, all the time. And there was so many freaks, dare I say it, God forgive me, but that used to come in there. I'm talking like one time. We had a lady working, right? And the girl who was on reception, the customer said, oh, can I see you instead? And the receptionist was like, no, I only work reception.
I'm a receptionist, yeah.
So he goes, well, I don't really like her and she doesn't shave her pussy. So my sister was like, not my problem. Like, either you stay or you go. So he left. Anyway, he came back, posted a letter through the door with my sister's real name on, and we never used to tell people what our real name was.
Shit, yeah.
Saying, dear Terry Lee, I don't like when women don't shave their blah, blah. And I really wanted to see you, you horrible little bitch, blah, and called her fit to burn, to the point where I was like, no, we need security. Yeah. Because how does he know what her name is? And why is he going home writing letters and posting them through the store at close of play?
A certain level of...
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, there was some very strange cats that used to come. Yeah. But we're from a family of strong women. So I think we scared them off more than any security could have.
Do you think?
Definitely.
What's the weirdest fella you've ever encountered in there?
Oh, God, Cozzy Man.
Cozzy Man?
I hope you're not watching this. Sorry for putting you on blast, Cozzy Man. So there's this guy, and I'm actually writing a series about my experiences, which is called Special.
I can't fucking wait.
There's an episode in that called Cozzy Man.
I can't fucking wait.
And so basically he was this guy, and he was like a grease monkey. He was a mechanic. He'd been known for like perverted things like flashing people at bus stops and stuff like that. He'd been in local papers and stuff for being a bit of a flasher. And none of the women had touched him. He was minty. He was minty. So he'd come in with a big bag of cozzies, get women's costumes, bikinis, swimming costumes, cozzy.
Okay.
And he'd put the cozzies on and parade up and down, and you'd have to say to him, yeah. And
Okay.
you'd have to say to him, oh, you look stunning. Oh, go on, look fabulous. But he never did.
I'm
Do you know what I mean?
psychoanalyzing this like a motherfucker right now.
Bearing in mind, he doubled up as a mechanic in real life. Like, my car broke down on multiple occasions and I'd ring my mum and be like, I'm stuck in Ellesmere Port. She'd be like, I'll ring Cosy, man. And he'd come and jumpstart me and get me going again.
Wow. Yeah. Where is he from?
He was from where the shop was, like round Ellesmere Port way. Yeah.
That's a strange one.
Yeah, it was so strange, but he was hysterical.
One of my mates' dads is called and he's a mechanic and he lives in Ellesmere Port.
No!
Bet it was. Because he's a weirdo, you know, and he was
I'm gonna
actually
get
in the
him up when
paper
we
for flashing his
It's
knob.
him!
It must be
Oh my
him.
God, no.
Small world.
I'm going to get him up in the paper and show you who he was and
Can we
see
do
if
it
you
now?
think-
We
Yeah,
can look.
yeah.
No, I'm not going to show the camera list, but let's just see if it's the same.
This is going to be so bizarre. Full government name. Yeah, that's him. I'm dead ass serious. So he was one of our weirder customers. Yeah.
That man has made me scrambled eggs.
Wow. That man has made me scramble from the building. Oh my God.
It's a small
gross.
world. And he used to wear these weird Umbro shorts that were like 3/4.
It's
the same.
Oh,
Man. So in the sex industry,
yeah.
a lot of individuals that I've interviewed about the sex industry have said that it can be quite toxic. It can be quite bitchy. Did you ever have that? I'm assuming you did from your face.
Yeah, so, right. So when I first started working in my mum's shop, just to give context, my sisters had done reception for my mum before, and I used to be like, let me work there, let me work there, let me work there. And I'm very judgmental. So my mum was like, absolutely, well, I'm not now, but I was then. So my mum was like, no, you know, you wouldn't treat me staff right. You're not working there, basically. So when I started working there, a lot of people didn't really take to me.
I couldn't see why,
The
babe.
girls did not take to me. Because we'd be mid-conversation and then they'd do like, yeah, so I had my kids took off me, and then I'd be like, oh, when you're here, flog and gash, when you should be in the courts fighting for your kids back. And then they'd be like, no, but I'm trying to get the money to get me kids back. And once I heard the kids were gone, I just couldn't tolerate it, because I came from a family where my mum had also worked this job. And social services, nothing like that had ever intervened in our life. So I just thought, you're a bad mum. If your kids have been removed and you're here doing this and you're not there fighting for them, you're a bad mum. So I got off on the wrong foot with a lot of the women that I worked with in the very early days. And plus I was shit on the phone. I'd answer it and they'd go like, what's she wearing? And I'd be like, you dirty perv. Where you need to be like, oh, she's wearing a luxury set from Anson. Do you know what I mean? You'd have to gas them all. And I'd be like, you're nasty, and putting the phone down on them. So the women
You
weren't
were losing
making
your
any
mum
money.
business
Yeah.
by going, you dirty pervert, what are you asking that for?
The
He's ringing a
women were
brothel.
there like, hello, tell them what I'm wearing. And I was just like, no, it's not a museum. Come down if you want to.
She's got a knockoff £4.50 Primark bra on. The knickers don't match, and I'm pretty sure there's a yeast infection.
Literally. So it wasn't good. So then there was women that would like do things like, for example, this one woman stole a pair of shoes and then swore black and blue to me mum that I had said, or either I had said or one of my sisters had said that she could take the shoes. And we hadn't said she could take the shoes. My mum like had a bag of spare kit for women who didn't have any stuff or couldn't bring stuff from home because they were hiding the job, whatever. And she took these best pair of fucking gold stilettos and the murder it caused. And I was like swearing to me mum. I was like, Mum, she's sabotaging me. She literally hates me because a kid didn't care. Like, that's not my problem. And my mum was like, no. She used to believe the women all the time.
Do you reckon it's because your mum had done the job and she knew how ostracised these women can be?
Yeah, because when I worked in my mum's shop, so I'm saying to you, brothels are just a flat, just a really nice inviting space. Boy, my mum had created a world within a world. Because when my mum shut her shop down, I started doing research and development for a play I was writing, which was called Girl Code, which was about the code in my mum's shop and how we all looked out for each other and whatever. So my mum gives me numbers of a couple of different brothels to go, speak to the madams, talk to the staff, whatever. Well, some of the places that I went to were the most dark, dingy, disgusting, exploitive spaces I've ever been in. We went to one place. We were doing the show verbatim, so where you go and interview the women and then you edit down those recordings, and that is what the actors play on the stage. They hear it through their ears and then say it. And this one woman come in and I got a feeling there was some kind of learning difficulties or she was vulnerable. So I said, oh, I don't feel comfortable interviewing this lady. I said, I don't think that she's got capacity to really agree to this. Imagine the owner of the brothel's like, babe, what do you mean capacity? These do whatever I tell them to. Sit down and tell her. And I was like,
whoa,
absolutely not. Then when I'm interviewing the manager of the place, she's talking about, yeah, man, we've had murders in here, we've had this in here, we've had that in here. All the boys come in on drugs, they take drink, they do this. My mum's shop was teetotal, you couldn't drink in there, you couldn't bring drugs in there. So it was like bizarre to me that there's spaces this unsafe for women. But because they're the spaces my mum had had to navigate, no wonder she created a space that was so safe. Because that, like, my mum's shop only ran from 10 in the morning till 7 p.m. at night. And she was like, that's when all the best customers are, Brodie, the businessmen, the people who were popping out on the lunch. They're all slimy, but they're not the lowest of society.
The lowest, yeah. Wow. So your mum created a safe haven in an unsafe industry, effectively. Yeah. And then when you went to look elsewhere, yeah, she became the Chanel of brothels. Yeah,
literally. I was like, oh, because me mum, sometimes if the shop hadn't made much money on that day, me mum would go to me like, give the girl your wages and I'll sort you when you get home. And it got to the point where she was running a charity. Sometimes, like, there was specific women that didn't do well in that shop. And I'd be like, Mum, they need to go somewhere else. Like, they're not making money, but my mum would just keep giving them whatever she had. You know, one time we put a programme on the telly, Sex Map of Britain. It was called Sex for £5. And there was a woman on there that used to work in my mum's shop. Now, when she worked in my mum's shop, she was a normal girl. As I say, there was no drink or drugs allowed in there. So there was no addicts really working in the shop. But anyway, she was addicted to crack on this programme. All her hair shaved at the front. Well, my mum flew in her car to Shield Road and found her and was like, no, you're coming with me, and like tried to you know, get her better again. We were like chauffeurs for these women. They didn't pay their trains into work half the time. We'd be picking them up. I'd be going, Mum, we're going to Ellesmere Port. She lives in Speak, so you can get to Ellesmere Port from Speak, take the A roads, go and pick her up. And I'd be like, oh, okay then. So like we were all encompassing. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't just the shop.
It's where it takes it from sex work to sexual exploitation, isn't it? When there's no HR, effectively.
Yeah. When there's no framework, no safety,
There has to be the bones of the operation. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just literally a fleshy mound, which is what you become, unfortunately, isn't it?
Yep.
To a lot of men, when you're in that industry, you are just a fleshy mound for them to do their business to. And, you know, women are men in the sex industry too. Did you have any men working there?
No, we never. My mum did explore it at one point. But there wasn't enough demand for it where we were. People would ask for like, can I do a couple? Can I see a couple? Like, can a man and a woman see me together? But other than that, no, there wasn't really an appeal for it.
And I have to ask, your mum obviously didn't start the business from nowhere.
That was a story in itself. So listen to this. So my mum used to work in there, right? Mm-hmm. As a working girl. And the woman who run it, big, massive woman from South Africa, she was a fucking knockout match. And she'd been like talking to me mum about going into business together, saying to me mum, you know, why don't you come in on it, blah, blah, blah. So my mum spoke to her fella, and at the time the fella was like, well, yeah, it makes sense. I don't want you working. You don't want to be working. Let's buy in. So they bought in at like 10k. Got all the shop retrofitted, got cameras put in, all of the safety things that my mum wanted and couldn't do when she was just working there. Next thing, she's been in business with this woman, 2 weeks? The landlord knocks on the door. The woman's in thousands of pounds worth of rent, hasn't paid the rent and is about to be evicted after she's just took whatever money she's took off my mum. So didn't my mum welly that bitch everywhere, get that money back and then keep the business for herself? And the woman left the city. Yeah, she tried to scam her. So again, she was exploiting the women, you know. Even things like I was saying to you before, my mum had asked us to run the shops for the girls. That we were above a row of shops, so it wasn't far. But the woman who had it before her, she wouldn't provide condoms, she wouldn't provide any sort of safety. There was nothing there where when my mum had it, there was a big stack of condoms, there was a bag of lingerie, there was everything you could need to fulfill the job in a clean, safe way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, that I didn't realise that was an industry standard.
I think the industry standard your mum was providing is not even the industry standard that a lot of online merchants are providing at the moment. Because as I say, I've interviewed a few people in the sex industry and a few people that have come out of the sex industry for those reasons that said, you know, I don't feel safe. I feel like a piece of meat.
Yeah.
You know, there's no HR. When obviously, even though it's online, there's weirdos everywhere.
Yeah.
And they'll find out where you live, all the rest of it. They'll join your chat rooms. There was one girl that I interviewed that I couldn't actually do her podcast, couldn't actually put it live, because she was talking about having a stalker. And in the 3 weeks between recording the podcast and it meant to go out, that stalker had escalated to the point where it became a police issue. Like, he's convicted now, just reference.
Thank God.
He's been convicted now.
God.
But I couldn't then put the podcast out because she was like, you can't put that out now.
This
I'm really
is what
sorry.
I mean.
We'll revisit it. I mean, she's coming back in. You know what I mean? At the end of October, we're going to redo it again. And now she's come out of the sex industry, and her whole idea of that rigmarole, shall we say, is not only that this guy was obviously a complete freak, but when she was reaching out to management and saying, this guy keeps joining all of my chats, like I've blocked him about 1 million times, he's now got my personal number, like could someone please help me? She was just basically being told this is part of the job.
Wow.
You're going to get weirdos. What do you expect? And one of her managers, who was male, said to her, unfortunately, you're a very sexy woman. It's going to happen. Your mum didn't only protect these women, she treated them like her daughters, effectively.
Yes, and I used to get jealous. I used to be like, I am her actual daughter, and I do not get this level of care. What is happening here?
But I mean, she's been there, hasn't she?
Yeah.
She's been there. Social media now is incredibly exploitive.
Yeah.
Right? So the sex industry has moved onto an already incredibly exploitive platform. And what would your advice be for a young girl that wants to go into the sex industry?
Don't. Literally
Really?
don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of people say how empowering it is, how, you know, it's the oldest industry in the world. And I do believe it is. And I do believe that sex sells, but it sells a part of your soul, a part of you that you will never be able to get back. The deterioration I've seen from some of the women who, for example, I'll give you one example, lovely middle class white working woman came in. She was qualified in every level of beauty, aesthetics, all of that kind of stuff. Come from a really good background. She'd married into a family that were controlling. The fella was narcissistic. He moved her into a big, massive house. You know, she had everything she wanted, but he wouldn't let her work. He wouldn't let her do anything. And eventually, she had to make the choice between leaving a child there and escaping to then try and get some independence back to fight to have her kid back, because how powerful the family were that she had married into. She was never going to be able to take the kids without a fight. So, you know, she's working that job to fund the fight in court and whatever else. But after about 6 months of doing it, she said to me, I literally don't want to be here. And I'm fighting to get my child back, but what quality of life am I going to be able to give him once I've got him, when I feel this broken inside? I honestly, the relationship I have with sex, because of my whole life has been in that industry or around that industry, I am very like, if you look even on my social media, if I go out dressed up, I've got a dress on down here to my knees, past my knees. I'm so like conscious of letting anyone see any part of me, because I see how women are viewed by men and the ways in which they'll disrespect us. There was a rule in the brothel that men weren't allowed to put the lube on themselves. I never understood what the meaning of that was. The reason why is because they overlube the condoms and then pull them off, and because it's so slippy, they then have unprotected sex with the working girl, and the working girl doesn't know until after it that she's been raped. If I consent to sex with you with a condom on and you take that condom off during, that is rape. And they put excessive amounts of lube on so that they can blag that the condom fell off. I shouldn't even need to know that. That shouldn't even be a thing. Like, if you're coming here and you're buying a service, respect my boundaries. It's just, it's toxic, and there's no way to protect yourself from it. No way whatsoever. Sometimes I'd go home and feel sick that I'd answered the phone and sold them women, and it's all a laugh and a joke when you're there and whatever, and you're having a good time with the women, and the women say they want to be there, but who wants to be there?
Who really wants to be there?
Yeah.
Do you think it's taken the intimacy out of it entirely for you?
Yeah, 100%, 110%. Like, I just don't see men in the way I should. Not in the way I should. You can see men however you want to, but I just see seediness when I look at men, and I just think I remember having a conversation with my partner, and he said to me that my relationship with sex had ruined his life, right? And that, for me, I was like, how can the lack of sex ruin your life? Think about what you've just said.
Yeah.
That's how important sex is, that when I'm not having it, it ruins your life. That's not normal.
Wow.
That's not normal. And then he was like, oh, I never meant it like that. And he probably never. But it's just how flippant they are about sex. Sex is a big fucking thing. You're giving a part of your body to somebody that the emotional attachments and all the rest of it.
Well, sex is supposed to release oxytocin into the body, the bonding hormone. And if you overstimulate yourself with adrenaline, and even with cortisol, you know, if sex is a chore, it's going to create cortisol, which is the stress hormone for those watching that don't know. You'll realign how your body perceives sex chemically.
Exactly.
And after that's done, it takes a while, and it takes real safety and real intimacy to work that back around. And it's similar of, you know, sexual abuse victims. It's hard to turn it back around, and people tend to go one of two ways. They get over sexually active, you know, or completely under sexually active. But I really do hate that spectrum, because what is over and what is under, really?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Who decides how much sex is the normal amount of shagging to do? I'm going to guess a man.
And I think the reason why I was so attracted to my partner is because he was not like that.
Yeah.
Like, he never, do you know, like when men are in town, they'll go like, what, oh, ass on air and things like that. Like, he never used to say things like that. And when we did eventually become intimate, we were seeing each other for nearly a year before we got intimate, and he couldn't get his head around it. And when we finally did, he was also not sexually experienced, but what's the word, like adventurous. He was very vanilla, as my friends called it, and I am very vanilla. So then we just clicked, do you know what I mean? And then now, as we've got older, and he's hearing other people's stories of their wild sex lives, he's like, what? We've been missionary for 20 fucking years. What's going on? But yeah.
I do agree that, you know, the sex industry has, in a lot of ways, ruined the intimacy of sex.
Yeah, 100%.
And I saw a girl the other day, 18, and she made a page. And she's actually someone that I knew from a while ago. Well, one of my mate's kids.
Okay.
But it's a friend that I've grown apart from. So,
okay.
And I saw her Instagram popped up, you know, and people you may know. And it was her naughty account. I looked at it and I thought,
Yeah.
like, and I know she comes from a good family. I know she's just trying to make some money, and it's so normalised now. Lie in the bed, put your legs in the air, flick your bean. That, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, it's not fact, it's not something everyone's going to share. That is not something your mind should jump to immediately when you need money.
Nope.
And I've been there. Like, I was a single mum with fuck all, and thought, fuck it. I joined an online group. I thought, yeah, I'm going to go and flip my bean on the camera. Right? No, I did. I lasted 2 months.
Yeah.
Right? And yeah, I'd never flicked a bean, put it that way.
Yeah.
It was more, I had a fella that used to want me to piss on the phone. Yeah.
This is what I mean.
But it was proper thick, you know, because I would just run the cold tap, but have my hand under it.
So it sounded
like piss. And then, how do you think I'm pissing for 2 minutes straight?
People used to buy dirty knickers from my mum's shop.
Oh, don't.
Pissy knickers, all kinds of stuff. There was one guy, oh my God, not me putting Cosy Man on blast when he wasn't even the weirdest person ever. There was one guy who used to ask the ladies to collect the used condoms throughout the day. He'd phone in the morning and he'd say, I'm going to come in tonight. you know, keep all of the condoms from throughout the day, and then he would drink the other men's sperm. It was bad.
I will let J-Bo drive my G-Wagon. Take the wagon!
Literally, girl, some of the depraved things. One guy rang up asking for siblings to see him. Like he wanted to come in with his sibling.
Oh.
He said, does she do couples?
Boys day out.
And I said, yeah, she does. And he said, yeah, but it's my sister.
Just go to the
And I
shooting
went,
range,
fuck
innit?
off, you dirty
In fact, go the actual range.
Literally.
To B&M.
It was gross. Some of the shit, it was just gross. People would ring up while they were knocking one out and they'd be like, yeah, what are you doing? And I could tell straight away, you can hear them beating the meat on the phone. And you're like, ugh. Literally. It was gross. It showed me so many. I'm quite naive. And I think everybody thinks the way I think. Do you know what I mean?
I think that. And they don't, do they? On that note, let's talk about the serial killer.
Yes.
So I had to read up on this because I was like, who the fuck is the Cabbage Patch Killer? The Cabbage Patch Killer killed your nan.
Yeah. So what happened was, and did you know how I came across the fact that it was that? So I told you earlier, when we were younger, there was lots of photos of our nan around our house, and my mum would frequently say, well, my ma got murdered, but that was the most we got. We didn't know who she'd been murdered by or what the circumstance around it was. And so once the internet became a thing, we obviously started searching our nan and trying to find out what had happened. Couldn't find a single thing, right? Then I'm making this play, Girl Code. And I thought, I can't make that play. I can't start my family's history in the sex industry there at my mum, because you won't understand all of the safety and all of the precautions and all of the things that she's done in earshot differently if you don't understand where the fear has come from initially.
Because her mum was murdered.
Yeah. So I was like, I need to explore this further. Girl, I goes to bed this night. I'd been in the Liverpool library looking through the archives, the Echo archives, couldn't find nothing. Lying in bed this night. And I still don't know whether it was a dream or whether I was awake and she really came.
This is Jesus.
The next thing, my nan appeared next to me and she goes, are you trying to find out what happened to me? She was as scouse as anything. So I was like, yeah. And she went, well, you're searching the wrong thing. Type in Cabbage Patch Killer. And then she disappeared. Now, I picked my phone up, went on the British National Archives and typed in Cabbage Patch Killer Liverpool, and straight away the article come up. And then with that come the rest of them. So before they figured out it was him who'd killed her, there was 3 articles: Who Killed Elizabeth, Murder Mystery. And so then that took the play in a different direction. The feminist in me was so fucking angry, because the first 2 articles are talking about my nan like this is tragic. This woman's been found, beaten to death. Then the headlines changed to Red Light Life of a City Vice Girl. And then they start talking about how she's a prostitute and how she's been murdered because she's took this waif and stray home to her house and whatever. And you know, as much as she declined in her life, she had severe mental health, her marriage broke down, and she ended up moving to Croxteth and getting in with these people and ending up being a prostitute. But no matter how low she'd become, she was a very house-proud person, and she was a very hospitable person. And so her trademark, what all the customers said, was she'd always make you a cup of tea after the service. That cup of tea found the killer because it had his fingerprints on.
Wow.
The cup in the sink is what found him eventually. And he'd been hiding in a cabbage patch, eating off somebody's allotment and whatever. And they then rang the police and was like, I think there's an intruder on my allotment. The gas you know, the gas things that you'd have to make like camp and stuff, he'd used the gas from that, so they knew he'd been cooking in the shed and whatever. And then the police staked it out and found him there.
I mean, it's disgusting, isn't it, that the headlines of the papers changed. It makes you think, you know, this is a mother, this is a nana, this is an auntie, this is a woman. She's not just a prostitute. But the minute they found out that she'd been a working girl, it changed from tragedy to maybe she asked for it.
Yeah, and less about really trying to find the killer There was a lot of articles like comparing her to other women who'd been found in Faulkner Gardens or in this place or in that place. And it was like, okay, yeah, now she's just a statistic.
No, she's just a job.
Yeah.
She's just a percentage of the planet now.
Yeah.
I think it is horrible, but it rings a lot of similarities to Jack the Ripper.
Yes, girl.
You know, because Jack the Ripper, obviously he was targeting working girls.
Vulnerable women with no protection.
Yeah. And they called him Jack the Ripper. Why not Jack the Muppet? Why was he Jack the Ripper?
Literally.
You know, why did we give him so much power in the public eye when actually what he was doing wasn't powerful at all?
Well, this is it. That was my mum's thing about them making this the Cabbage Patch Killer. She was like, my mum wasn't killed in a fucking Cabbage Patch.
No.
Why are they making...
Sensationalising the perpetrator.
Sensationalising it, exactly that.
It is.
And all the stories were written by men. All of the statements from police and communities that they spoke to, they only spoke to working girls who were streetwalkers, and they only spoke to dirty, seedy men who were the punters of these women. Do you know what I mean?
Never spoke to the family or the mates.
My nan had worked 20 years in the Adelphi doing housekeeping. Why weren't that in the paper?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just that one time, and to break it down even further, 2 years of her life, she was murdered at 46, and she'd only been a streetwalker for, 2 years? A whole rest of her life, she'd worked like a normal person. But that's what she was reduced to. And that's why my mum never ever let us look for the papers and look for the stories, because it wasn't just about what had happened to her. It painted her in the most horrible light.
Completely changed the whole identity to fit a sensationalised narrative.
Yeah.
Let's rewrite it now.
Isn't it?
Let's just rewrite it.
Do you know
what?
what?
Wait, you are?
That's why I came, because, do you know, one of my mottos is turning me pain into paychecks. And, you know, everything difficult that I have been through, I have monetised to some degree, be it writing it and it ends up on stage, be it getting published by Bloomsbury.
Amen to that, bitch.
Do you know what I mean? There's always a paycheck that comes after it. So I'm like, when I'm feeling that pain, I'm like, oh, I'm going to get paid.
Yeah, it's like, hurt me if you want to, because I'm going to cash in on this shit.
Literally.
Every time.
Yeah.
I think we rewrite your nan's narrative today.
I agree.
Right. What was nan's favourite food?
Our family thing is chicken and rice, right? This unique chicken and rice that my mum makes, which was her mum's chicken and rice. And it's no kind of like, people have like a Caribbean one, or this is just like our family's chicken and rice that's being passed down through generations. Don't ask me what the recipe is, because it's all by eye. But every single one of ours tastes exactly the same. And when people are like, oh, your mum's chicken and rice, as soon as I make it, and I'm like, actually, it's my nan's. Because my nan's mum was Cumbrian. She moved here in the, the Blitz, when Liverpool was getting bombed and whatnot. She come here. She'd never seen a black man in her life. She'd read bad things about them in books. She'd never seen one.
Of course. I'm sure there were many bad things in books written by people that couldn't actually string a real sentence together in their life.
And this black man, Liverpool 8's getting bombed. She's like getting caught up in the drama, and this black man makes a beeline for across the road. She said, I thought he was going to kill me. He saved her, and they ended up making beautiful kids together, which was my Nan Elizabeth and her twin brother, who subsequently died during surgery in the hospital.
Oh, God bless.
Yeah, he was only a baby, went in for like a growth, what he had on the back of his ear, and I've got one on the back of my ear. My nan was fierce. She was one of 4. So there was John, Dougie, Eddie, and then my nan and her other brother who'd passed away. But there was them 4. She was the only girl out of the 3 brothers, and she was the only black one out of the 3 of them. And she grew up fighting. When I tell you, even now when I speak to people and they say to me, what, your nan? Like, your nan was terrifying. My mum talks about times where, like, you know, people would come to the house because they'd say the kids had done something bad or whatever, and my mum would get a beating off her. But if it turns out that the person had lied on her kids, my mum was like, oh, she wouldn't wait for them to answer the door. She would kick the window in and climb through it and beat them in their own homes. Like, chores we used to get when we were kids was, if your nan was alive, you know, if we put one foot wrong, it'd be, oh, if your nan was here. So she was definitely a strong, strong, strong woman.
What kind of music did she like?
Jazz. I mean, she was obsessed with Betty Boop. Obsessed with Betty Boop. Obsessed. And now my mum's obsessed with Betty Boop.
Oh, how do you feel about Betty Boop?
I do love Betty Boop, and I looked into the history of her, and she was inspired by a black jazz singer.
Yeah, I was about to say that, yeah.
It made sense, because when I looked at it, I was like, oh, she could be my nan, like, you know.
Yeah.
So my mum has all the little memorabilia, all the little Betty Boop stuff.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's proper cute.
What do you reckon your nan would think of you making your plays, writing your books?
She wants me to. Like, there's no way on God's green earth I would have found those articles without her. There's no way. I had been searching, girl. I had other people searching. I was looking high and low. And she knew. She was like, this is the time to change the narrative. The cycle stops with you. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. It's crazy, isn't it? The woman I was doing the play with at the time was not spiritual at all, so she just did not believe me. She was like, I just think that's bullshit. I think you knew where to find them and you just made this up. I was like, I swear to God, she come to me last night. She wants me to tell a story.
No, it's the weirdest thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do get that, because after my dad died, I was laying in bed with my my then partner. And I don't know if it was a dream, I don't know what the fuck it was, right? But I rolled over in bed and my dad was laying next to me. It was the scariest fucking... You have never seen a motherfucker of my size jump as high as I did, I'm telling you. And I was a bigger girl back then. I was out the bed. We had these little saloon doors in the bathroom, right, that went onto the ensuite. And I was backing it up. Oh, I'm telling you, right? So we had a really, really low bed. Just like these fucking stupid sofas, right? Really, really low bed. And it was literally the night I'd found out he died. And I'd gone to, and obviously I was in hysterics. I can't even remember getting to his house. Like, I did get there. The only thing I remember from going to visit my dad after he died in the house. In the evening time, I'd gone down to his flat to clean it. And the only thing I recall is getting out the car and screaming at these crackheads on the front going, someone get me a fucking lighter. I'm gonna set fire to the fucking place. And I was, yeah. So I got back and obviously I was livid, fuming, seething. And my partner at the time, God bless him, he just put me to bed.
Oh, right? Tucked you in.
Yeah. Nice guy. I was fucked. Right? And I fell asleep and I woke up and I opened my eyes. My dad was like that, right there.
Did he say anything?
No. Just, it was like he'd rolled towards me and I'd rolled towards him. It was weird as fuck. And then I obviously went, ah!
And
Jumped up, back in through the saloon doors. My partner then, when I looked back at the bed, it was my partner.
Oh.
I was asleep. Yeah. So he was like, what's up? And I was like, ah! He's like, what's up, sir? And I was like, ah!
Don't ask!
Ah!
It's terrifying. I mean, I have those experiences quite frequently. So I not long moved from a flat, right? And I lived next door to the most amazing woman. Big up, Nikki, if you're watching this. I love you to death. And similar thing, her dad passed away. Now, her dad lived in Wales. I'd never met this man in my life, right? But I had an armchair in my bedroom. I wake up.
Why? That is a recipe for disaster.
Because I'd done this play which was called She's Leaving Home, and it was like really based on it wasn't based on my story at all. I didn't even write it, but I just felt so connected to it. So then I toured this show all around Liverpool in people's living rooms on this armchair, and it felt right that the armchair came home with me. And every show I'm in, I have to take something off the set. It's usually something tiny. But on this occasion, I was like, I usually rob you without asking, but you're going to notice if I take the chair. So can I have the chair? And they were like, yeah, why not? So I had the chair in my bedroom. And this morning I wakes up and this guy is sat there, no top on. Looks like he's shagged the beds his whole life. He had that skin that was like dead brown, but also very aged.
Yeah.
And he's playing the guitar, singing Country Road, Take Me Home. So I've just dived out my bed, ran to my neighbours and been like, there's a guy on the chair in my living room. She's grey when I've knocked. So I'm like, oh, are you okay? So she's like, my dad's just died. So I was like, what does your dad look like? So then she goes and gets me a picture. It was her fucking dad sat on the chair. So then I said, he's singing, he's playing the guitar. She went, he did, he played the guitar, he loved the guitar. She said, what's he singing? Now I'd only heard this song once when I was in a play with this other girl. And I said, I couldn't remember the words to it, but I said, he's talking about West Virginia and mountains. And then a daughter come running in and was like, oh, Country Road, he used to sing that to me. when we were little, and I was like, well, can you come and get him out my bedroom? Like, what are we doing here? But yeah, I've had that a few times where people come to me for whatever reason.
Rebuke that in the name of Jesus.
In it, girl. And I don't want it. Like, just putting it out there. People say when you stop fearing, that's when they come. Babe, I'm terrified. I'm a shitbag. So why are you coming? Like, leave me alone.
What's your next show?
I haven't. So I'm writing the series at the moment, which is called Special, which is a comedy series about me being a child and believing I am special, but special in the sense of like, I thought I was going to grow up, be rich and famous. Everyone was going to know who I was because there was always this attention on me as a child. And it was from the school, it was from the youth clubs, but it was from all these services because they knew my life was all the way fucked up. But I thought the way we were living was the way everyone was living. Yeah. And I was just special. Like, I've got all these people around me. I'm special. And yeah, it's about me falling flat on my face at age 21 and realising that actually no one's coming to save me. I have got to save my fucking
Gotta get
self.
up, girl.
Yeah.
You gotta get up.
Yeah. So I'm writing that at the moment. I've got the pilot written. I've got episode 2 written. I've got the whole like series.
Let me know if you want me to be in it.
Yes, 100%. You could literally play my best mate Tammy. Like, actually genuine.
Really?
Yeah, genuine.
I'm going in to play.
No, it's a series for TV.
Now,
if Chica's watching, Chica will tell you. He went to college to do acting, right? And I remember bumping into her. I was only about 19. And I said, so when I write the play about my life, I'm going to put you in it. Whatever. Anyway, fast forward to in my 30s, I got some money from the Everyman and Playhouse and I called her up and I was like, girl, get your ass down here. It's time to make the play. And she was like, what? You've really stuck to it? I was like, girl, no lies told you. Get to the Everyman. So yeah.
Well, I'm going to play it. Who am I going to play?
Tammy.
What's Tammy
one
like?
of my best mates. She's just, she's a hoot. So she's literally, I'm going to call her when we finish this podcast so you can speak to her. But we've been friends since she's 2 years older than me. So I'm going to say she might have been 6, I was 4. We grew up on the same estate together. My dad was so strict, he didn't let us out. So for years, Tammy knew us from school, but her brothers and sisters called us the kids in the window because they just used to see us in the window, pining to be outside to play with them. So the first time I knocked on Tammy's, I'll never forget it, her sister Claire, she come to the door, and back then you had like glass on your doors with the little blinds on, and the blind was up. And she come halfway down the hallway, and then she went, oh my God, Mum, it's the kids from the window. And then I opened the door, and they were all like, made up to see us. It was the first time we ever played out. But Tammy's been my dog for days. Like, we've been friends forever. And when I tell you, we are probably an anomaly in our community. Like, when people see me, Tammy and Nabila, there's 3 of us, the Oreo. So Nabila's black, I'm black, and Tammy's in the middle. And we are the trio of all trios. Like, when people see us together, they're like, no, that warms my heart that yous are still friends like that to this day. We all had our kids around the same time. I mean, I stopped at 1 because I was smart. They've had more than 1. So Tammy's got 2 kids, Nabila's got 3. And we're just like the best friendship group you could ever have.
My best mate's flying over in 2 weeks from New Zealand.
Stop it! I'm so excited.
Yeah, she comes over every year for a week. Oh. And I'm always saying to her, I'll come over to New Zealand next year, don't worry about it. I've got 2 kids and she ain't got shit yet. Yeah. So it's like, you come over here. Yeah. And then she comes over and I take a whole week off work.
I love that.
Just to like have girl time, and we just go sit in Primark and
I
do mean sit in Primark. Like, we'll go and we'll try on everything from Primark. Like, for a whole day. Like, it's hilarious. And then we'll go and get an over-expensive mocktail.
That's us.
And take a picture.
We do nights in Tammy's, right, on a Monday. She has no kids on a Tuesday, so they're called Tammy Tuesdays. So that's when she makes us sandwiches. She makes the best sandwiches ever, but the Tammy's sandwiches, so the sandwiches.
I got that, mate.
And just telling you for those who don't. And so we do a Monday night and then we have a Tammy Tuesday.
One time I told someone that I used to be on crack, bearing in mind this person was an alcoholic, and she went, could never be me. No, it is. It's nearly you.
No, it's you, Tamara.
Yeah. Rest assured.
Literally,
it's on its way, hon.
Tamara. That is one thing I do not say it could never be me.
It could always be you.
I was saying this to my friend the other day. We've got some issues going on in our community around the kids and the way the kids are misbehaving. And I'm seeing a lot of parents jumping on the internet with that could never be me.
Could never be me.
Rhetoric. And I think, bitch, first off, I unground with you. That was you. Never mind, that could never be you. That is you. But I never say those things because you don't know what tomorrow holds.
I think it's actually quite... It's embarrassing when people say, could never be me. You are one decision away from that being you.
Yes.
You are one bad day away from that being you.
Tell them.
You are, in fact, 30 seconds away from that being you if you don't shut
Once
the fuck
I
up.
smack you.
Yeah.
I can smack you into a crackhead right now.
I'm going to smack you to crack.
Literally. A little crack smack.
Little crack smack. No, but it is, isn't it? It's like, yeah, okay, you're going to judge these people. You can look at these people through whatever lens you want. You're still looking.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And if you can see them, you can help them.
That's it.
Right? You've got to make a judgment, haven't you? So there's a spectrum. We're in the middle watching shit. You can assist it or you can judge it.
Yeah.
But you've got to remember, shit comes back around.
And the best way, so I've been a person who has always served others. And maybe that came from being in the church and, you know, learning the language of being of service to
100%,
people.
yeah.
But then going through the 12-step program, you learn about actually being of service to people,
Yeah.
right? And so one of the things they used to say is the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
Oh, 100%.
And I swear by that 1000%. I told you when I was 18, I was judgmental. I hadn't lived. I didn't have no kids. I didn't know. And so going out and helping other people who were in different situations to me really opened my eyes to, oh my God.
I get it. I denied it. I denied it for years. I was still denying it 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago. When people were like, oh, have you seen him? He's a crackhead. I'd be like, oh, that's disgusting, that. Fucking crackhead, right?
Yeah.
Knowing full well I'd been in that position, right? When people would be like, oh, I even had a go at my ex-partner for doing coke on a night out. I swear to you, right? I swear to you. I'd be like, it's disgusting, that. Give me the bag. Let me flush it
Give
for you.
me the bag, let me wash it up.
Yeah,
Into
yeah.
something more
Do you know
suitable.
what I mean? Like, let me Brit that for you.
Girl, honestly, like, I remember the first, and bearing in mind, just to put it out there, because people are probably going to watch this and be like, Brodie's been through the 12-step program. I have a lot of addiction in my family and my friends. And so I went to AA to better understand the people around me, not because I felt like I needed.
Oh, Brodie, mate, you are one in a million.
And do you know how I knew it was the right place for me to be? Because the first day that I got there, you know the way they open the book on a random page every week, and the page was to the wives. And they spoke about what it is like to deal with somebody who's afflicted by addiction. And I have never felt so seen and so safe in my life. There was things I was holding in that I couldn't tell anyone around me because they didn't know what I was dealing with or how big the beast was. And oh my God, you better believe I wanted to go back every week because I was just like, these people get it. They get it and they're not judging. And if I can be in this space for long enough, I can bring my people into this space. And that's exactly what I did.
That's it. And that's the meaning of human life, to understand each other and to coexist. I hope everyone goes and watches your shows. I hope they all go and read your books. I hope they all go and offer to buy your knickers.
Yes. But if you do look into sort of the history of my family in the papers, when I spoke to you before about me changing the narrative, it went from my nan's story, tragic and written wrong. My mum's story, tragic and written wrong, to me rewriting history. I've been in the paper far too many times to remember, but never for anything negative. So, you know, we're rewriting the history one day at a time.
I think that's what the underdogs are doing, mate.
That's it.
It's not up to the rich and famous anymore to write the stories. It's up to the underdogs, the people that they didn't want to give a pen to. So I don't want the people that think they've struggled because they had it slightly harder than their billionaire mate.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't want the people that are... I can't explain it without sounding like I hate people that are doing well. And I don't hate people that are doing well. I've come from fuck all myself, and I'm
Doing
mountain
well.
climbing at the minute.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm not hating on people that are doing well. I'm hating on people that want to seem like they're approachable and seem like they're relatable. And they ain't. And when I've had people say, "Oh no, we'd love to come on your podcast. I'm filming something." Well, not them directly. The management even makes it even worse. Where we're filming something in Liverpool soon, and it's going to be aimed at the working classes, and it'd be really nice to get on the podcast and appeal to that younger generation, and or people from the TV industry. Like, oh, we want a social media person. We want to make it more relatable. And I'm like, I'm hearing what you're saying, right? But my podcast is not a place for you to try and manipulate the masses to understand you.
Or promote stuff that's going to make you better off.
It's not about looking good, mate. Yeah. It's people that watch the podcast because they need to feel like someone else in the world has had it as hard as them and has come back from it.
Tell them.
Do you know what I mean?
Can we do something a bit unconventional?
Yeah.
I've written a poem, right? And the only reason I want to read it is because I haven't touched on anything on this podcast around my journey as a black woman. And what it's
Read
like
it.
to be
Where's
in
the fucking
Liverpool
poem?
right now.
Get the fucking poem.
This isn't even about being a black woman. It's about the state of Liverpool right now and how it's making me feel as.
Well, you're a massive advocate
woman.
for black writers, black social communicators. Yeah. What's it called? Black social activists.
Yeah.
You are a massive advocate for black social advocates, and I am too.
Fabulous. Well, this is called "I'm Fed Up."
Fucking
Literally.
feel it. Go on,
Story
girl.
of my life. I'm fed up. I'm fed up of Scousers turning on our own. I'm sick of hearing the voices screaming, send them all home. Me mind drifts back to when we all stood together. Don't buy the sun, we said, and we meant it in any fucking weather. We're the city who stood up to oppression, but now we're burying history instead of learning the lesson. My ancestors built these docks with blood underneath their nails. And now the truth gets locked away while justice continues to fail, but you tell us to wait for it to prevail. The pain still runs through us, it's in our DNA. Yet one thing goes wrong and we get the blame thrown our way. Walking through the city and there's talk of British culture and St. George's flags are flying high. From the same fucking people who've been anti-establishment for years with pride. This city meant the world to me. I thought we stood for unity. But it turns out we all turn a blind eye too, because hate looks different depending who you're talking to. The government are taking the piss while the city's left to rot, selling Liverpool off to the highest bidder every last fucking plot. The gas goes up, the lecky goes up and food goes through the roof, but they've got you blaming refugees rather than asking them for proof. While you spit in our faces and call us nigger in the street, the rich are getting richer and you can't even eat. They'd rather fund another war than fund another school, then act surprised when desperate people break every fucking rule. We'd rather bomb another country and call it keeping the peace than we're wondering why the boats keep coming and the numbers don't seem to cease. You're screaming about rape gangs because the headlines told you so, while ignoring every statistic that doesn't fit the show. The papers are selling you snippets, rage bait on every page. They've literally monetised your prejudice and package back to you your rage. So you smash up your own city, brick by fucking brick, but you're only helping the people who really couldn't give a shit. It isn't immigration that's bringing Liverpool down. It's the people dancing to Westminster's tune while they help you burn down your town. You can't afford to live, but the billionaires are laughing. You're fighting over crumbs while they're walking off with everything. Open your eyes and stop being so naive. Get your head out your ass and get your heart back on your sleeve. Because the war was never black or white, Muslim, Sikh, Christian or Jew. It's always been the few at the top keeping us all fighting too. So stop punching sideways and start punching above. Because our city's greatest weapon has always been its love. So let's rise together, and not because we all look the same, but because every time they divide us, they get to win the game again.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Holy.
I had to put that in because I feel like I haven't spoke about the stuff I usually speak about. I'm usually on my pedestal fighting for our rights.
Yeah, but today you were rewriting Nana's story. Yeah. It is powerful. No, we need to close up. Sit down, you silly cow. Come on. Got to close up. Right, let's close this podcast. It's been a fucking dream, bro.
I'll close it down. You just saying that. So I'm neurodivergent. I've got ADHD. and things trigger things in me, right?
Go on.
I shouldn't laugh. Keep this in so that Nabila can have a laugh. So my best mate lost a granddad this year, and oh God, it's been a year actually. It was a year ago.
God bless.
And a granddad, Rupee, big up Rupee, he was like a dad to her, right? And anyway, after the funeral, we all went back to Rupee's, and Nabila's nan got fuming because we basically were all young, so it was getting loud, it was getting lady, it was becoming a bit of a party, and a nan come in and went, "Shut it down, Nabila, shut it down." No, anytime anything's happening and someone says, "Close it down, shut it down," the first thing in my head is, "Shut it down, Nabila." So sorry about that.
You're all good. We'll leave it in. Fuck it. Thank you all for watching today's episode of Crying in the DMs. Massive appreciation for Brodie. Massive appreciation for Brodie's nan. Massive appreciation for Rupee for sharing that conversation.
Yes.
And God bless his soul. And I think there's only one thing left to say, isn't there?
But
It's down, Nabila!